Hello guys, today we are going to show the interfacing of LED matrix with the microprocessor. Initially also we can show that the patterns of A, B, C are continuously repeating, which I have already entered the opcode, and in this video I will be giving a tutorial on how to change the patterns by changing the opcode. By doing slight modification we can get the pattern. So I am going to give you a tutorial on that. So let's start with the opcode. So here is the opcode, as you can clearly see. Now we can see that by changing at address location starting from 2050, we can change the displayed pattern. So we can clearly see that as I have initially entered the code for displaying ABC in a loop, now I am going to show how to change that pattern. Let's start. First I would give you a brief idea of how LED matrix work. So as you can see that there are 8 rows, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. So based on these 8 rows we shine LEDs such that we can create our pattern. So we can shine this whole row by putting hexadecimal value FF. As FF corresponds to maximum value, we can change that all LEDs can be lit. If we put in 00 instead of FF, no LEDs would be lit. As you can see that in the opcode for the pattern A, in the first row we entered F8. So in the whenever the pattern A comes, we can see that only these five LEDs are glowing, and F8 correspond to the binary number 11111000. So the LEDs which are 1111, they are being lit and other are not being lit. That creates a pattern. Now what we are going to do is we are going to show how to create a square, a circle and a triangle. So let's show this. For a square, for the first row all the LEDs should be lit, and second row only 2 LEDs, the leftmost and the rightmost should be lit, and the last row should be fully lit. So for fully lighting the first row, the binary number should be 8 ones, that correspond to FF, and for lighting the row which is the second row, that correspond to leftmost and rightmost LEDs being lit, that correspond to 10000001, that correspond to 81. Now we are going to enter this in the changing opcode at the memory location 2050, because that correspond to our first pattern. Now we can, from 2058 we can change another pattern which I am going to show you, a circle. This correspond to this pattern. We can show that the first row is 00111100, that is 4 LEDs are lit, and that correspond to 3C in hexadecimal. Similarly, the last pattern which we are going to create is a triangle. Hence triangle can also be created using the same technique. So I am going to enter these the opcodes at the memory location, that is the hexadecimal values at those memory locations, and we can see how it's changing. Now we can clearly see that we have created the pattern of a circle, a square and a triangle which are going in loop. Hence we change the pattern depending upon the hexadecimal values which we put, as you can clearly see. Thank you.